and Major Hector Quintanilla is now the chief of Project Blue Book. Major Quintanilla, what are the objectives of Project Blue Book?
As I'm standing there, I kind of, it's a very hard feeling to describe. Skinny arms, skinny legs, but I could only see about half of this thing.
It was just an eye-opening experience. There was a ship coming over the house.
It was like a white light sort of thing that we saw. It was coming out of a cloud.
Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Alien Strand Podcast. I'm your host, Donald Ledesma. Welcome to today's show. Man, it's going to be a good one. Pretty exciting today, man. I hope you guys are having a really, really good and amazing kind of day. Like, man, it's hot. It's hot down here in South Texas. I don't know what you're talking about, but it's hot. It's pretty hot. All right, man. So today we're going to have a guest, special guest today. This is going to be Mr. Terry Linch. He's going to come on here shortly. I just want to make sure that everybody knows that we are live right now. We're live on Rumble. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Twitch. We are live on Facebook. Now, if you're watching this, once you comment on Facebook, I believe the only comments that are going to be come through that chat are the ones that are on my personal page, I believe, okay? Don't get me wrong. There's some that don't come through sometimes. But if you go to my personal page and you see the live and you comment there, it'll pop up on screen here, all right? Just letting you guys know that. Now, we are live right now on Spreaker, so if you do have the app, you don't have to watch. Sometimes you can just listen, man. And the Alien Strand podcast is what it's about. It's about ufology, right? And extraterrestrials and everything of the unknown. That's what we're here about. We're here to show everybody what's out there and, what we think these things are, right? So catch us live on Spreaker. Right now, we are live on that channel as audio, okay? So right now, we're here on video. I hope you guys are, like I said, having a great day. We have a lot of stuff to talk about today, man. A lot of stuff, man. And if you need to find any of our links, just go to the down on the description of this video today. It says all my links. Just click on that. It'll give you every single thing from Alien Strand Podcast to the films, the middle part 2, the middle part 1, the middle part 3, just released, man, about a week and a half ago. So the middle part 3 is out now. All right, so go check it out. You just saw the commercial for that. Great documentary with Regina Palmer. Let's see who's on there. Nash. Mr. Nash was on there, Jameson, and William Rathbun, he was on there as well, and then of course Mr. Chris Hamill. He was our UFO analysis expert on that. So anyway, go check that out. Give us a thumbs up after each one that you watch on the Amazon Prime video and on the app. Give us a little review. We'd really appreciate it. All right. So, there's been a lot of UFO activity out there, extraterrestrial, of course, and the things that kind of give us that, whoa, what was that kind of moment, right? And it's hard for folks to understand or even fathom exactly what they're seeing sometimes, right? And how do we explain these things? Sometimes we can, sometimes we can't, right? It's like Terry Linch says, he says, we might know some things, but we're not going to know everything. And we're going to admit to that. We're not going to know everything. We might have not the answers that you're looking for, but we'll try to get as close as we can to what you're looking for. Now, I've been getting a lot of not phone calls, but instant messages. People are just kind of having this kind of weird feeling, right? This kind of moment of like an uneasy feeling, right? And it's kind of giving them a little bit of a negative vibe too, as well, right? Kind of attaches itself. Can it be paranormal or can it be extraterrestrial? I don't know, man. That's the possibility that we're looking at here of what it could be, right? And like I told you before, these things in the films, the middle 2 and 3, they coincide together, paranormal and extraterrestrial. And I think it messes with your frequency as well, man, and your psyche a little bit, right? And your subconscious levels, where we're trying to, like when you're getting sleep subconsciously, right? These things can affect you. You're not there. You're kind of there, but you're not, right? And it affects you, right? So, and I just want everybody to be out there, be positive, be vigilant, just stay positive, man. And good things, give the good frequency out there, and you will get that reciprocation in return. Okay. So just stay positive. Things will be amazing. All right. But let's go ahead and move further. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get Mr. Terry Linch on board right now. There he is.
Hey, everybody. How's it going? Been a long time.
Yes, it has. I'm glad that you came back to ufology, man, and we missed you for a bit there. I know you're working and stuff like that. Things have changed or whatever, but I'm glad and I'm happy for you to be here on Alien Strand Podcast, and people want to hear your insights on the new ufology and everything that's coming up. So, what's been going on, man?
Well, in my world, I'm currently going through a divorce now. Me and my wife have separated. We're divorcing. There's no changing what's about to happen here.
Yeah, sorry to hear that, brother.
I've moved away from the city where I had a really extremely good job. I was a school bus driver for Ben LaPine School District. I had just made it to where I had my own route. I had received a pay raise. I was making about $27 an hour. Right. I was set to make $29 an hour, and all the benefits, all the fun stuff, that's all gone now.
Well, you're starting over, and you're starting
I am. Let's see. Tomorrow's Monday. I'm applying for a job with a different school district because
right
it's probably not a good idea for me to stay in the old town I was in. I'm kind of clingy, so the fact that I left the town was kind of a big step for me.
Right on.
Literally all my friends and the middle was made, and all my discoveries that I had in that location. Well, now I'm up in northern Washington, and I plan on doing brand new discoveries.
Good.
I'm on top of my older brother and his wife. They were gracious enough to take me in. I'm right now. I'm on a 36-acre piece of property that my older brother owns. It's way up in the top of the Kettle Mountain Range. It's right. Just off the side of the Cascades. We've been looking up in the skies at night here, and he has just as much stuff going on here as we did back there in La Pine.
Right on.
So what's going to happen here is Jonathan Mitchell, he's going to be taking over Oregon ufology research.
Okay.
That's one of the first steps. My brother and I are going to start working together on creating something that's more like Washington ufology research.
Right on.
So this will be like a branch of it.
Good.
We're going to continue on. I've still got all my cameras and I still got my equipment. What the problem is I'm in kind of a bad position right now. I don't have the funding. I left a job that had the money and all of that.
Right.
September was going to be our first day back because, bus drivers take off the summer.
Right.
So September 3rd was going to be our first day back, and I do not have any kind of funds.
Okay.
However, I have found myself in a position to where there's a job that I could possibly be starting soon. I am absolutely 100% qualified for it. I have my license. I have all the endorsements I need to go be what I'm going to go do here. And I found myself which is kind of odd, but I found myself a 2-bedroom place that's going for about $650 a month.
Right on.
My problem is I need to be able to come up with a first, a last, and a deposit. Plus, I need to also be able to go down and retrieve the rest of my belongings before next month is over.
Okay. Well,
otherwise it turns into a 10-cent yard sale. If you know what I mean?
I got it. So let me explain something out there for everybody out there that's watching right now. In the section that you're seeing where it says all my links and that says everything about what's going on today, there's a GoFundMe page that I set up for Mr. Terry Linch. So if anybody can go out there and hit that GoFundMe, anything will $1, $5, anything to help him so that way he can get some shelter and start his life over. That would be amazing and wonderful. If you can't go there, go to that, please, and please help Terry. And we're gonna be pushing and helping you get across that, okay? Across that hump, because we know you're there. We love you, and we love the ufology that you've done and everything from the middle. Now,
thank you so much.
Yes, I love you, brother. So this is what it's about, man. So let's go ahead and get into some videos, right? Because I know people want to see the videos out there. Now, I think you remember this video from 1970. I'm going to throw it out there for the people in audio land. It's the one that that they're filming, and it goes directly across the sky. 1970 in St. Helena. All right. This is an amazing one because you could see the UFO craft go by their heads as they're. Luckily, somebody shot some video there, right? And it's the disc, man. Look at the mountains, everything that's around there. Now, today has a lot to do with the mountains, and I'm going to show some incredible new videos too that has a lot to do with this. What do you think about this video that you're seeing here?
This actually happens to be something that when I first started watching other footage from people, this one right here really grabbed my attention. At first, I thought it was Mount St. Helens, but this is over in Europe. They really captured something here. I'm glad that the family was sitting there. It shows the fact that this is very real going on behind them. And this is the type of craft that you normally see in the mountainous ranges, all over the Cascades. Right. Also, if you look at it, you also realize this is also something that Tino Gallegos down in Arizona.
Right.
He always has this exact craft going by. It's like it's a traffic jam in the sky. If you have the right equipment, you'll see it. But this right here was really lucky that they captured what they got. And it's also probably the most credible piece of footage I've ever seen.
Yes, me too.
I'm really grateful that whoever just happened to be filming that was able to see it and then share it with the world, because most people that time frame, it was such a bad stigma to try and share something like that.
Right.
That most people, they would have, I guess the proverbial men in black would have come and visited him if he wouldn't have shared it as fast as he did and as much as he did.
Right.
So those And by the way, everybody, I got to see the Men in Black all by myself when I was coming back up from Nevada. I was driving. I went down to see my folks. I really had no idea where I was at in the nighttime when I was driving down, but I ended up parking in a little roadside area. And yes, I have my camera. No, I didn't know where it was at in the car. Otherwise, you'd be looking at that footage right now.
Right.
But I went to this little roadside rest area, and up in the sky, there it was. There was a craft that came up. And later I found out that area was right next to Area 51.
Wow.
And I was sitting there, I watched it for about 20 minutes, and I was really tired from being on the road anyway. But I sat there, I laid back in the back of this car. This is a Subaru Impreza, so figure the dynamics on 6'3". Anyway, I had two couch cushions in here for a bed, and had my feet hanging out the back, and had my .357 Magnum sitting on my chest just in case someone wanted to sniff my feet.
Right.
So I just laid there, and I kind of looked out the window of the car, and I saw this thing out up over the top of the desert, and I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. Anyway, after a few minutes of that, about 20 minutes of that, I decided, okay, I'm not sleeping, so I'm going to go ahead and get back on the road. So I pull my feet up and get myself out, put my shoes on, get back behind the wheel, and I start heading towards Las Vegas. And sure enough, I see another one as I'm probably about 40 miles outside of Vegas,
right,
going south. And I see a craft go up, and then I see it does a couple different maneuvers. I see it split into two crafts, and then they just disappeared. They faded out.
Wow. It looks like your video froze. I'm getting an echo.
How's that?
I'm getting an echo.
How's that? A little better?
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Still a little echo. Might want to pull them. Up.
Okay, let's give it a shot here and see what happens.
There you go. Yeah, you're just kind of going in and out. Your video froze, but we can hear you. We can still hear you, brother. So,
Okay.
But no, you were saying that the Area 51 guys were there, and then they told you to pull your tripod down, correct? And then they followed you.
That was on my way back. I had already visited my parents for about a week, and I was on my way back, and I wasn't exactly quite sure where I was at yet. So I went ahead and I pulled off. I thought maybe I'll get some footage here. I've been looking at probably a few hundred wild donkeys as I was driving.
Right.
And I thought maybe this would be a good spot. Then I got out and I started to set my tripod up, and I had my P1000 trying to hook it up to it. And there was traffic that was going by, so I didn't hear the vehicle that pulled up behind my car. And then all of a sudden he said over the PA system, he said, "You better not do that here."
Oh, wow.
And I turned and looked, and I saw red and blue lights behind my car.
Wow.
And he said, "I see that you didn't take the lens cap off your camera yet. Otherwise, I'd be confiscating your camera."
Wow.
Which would have probably been me going to jail for the fight.
Wow.
That's how long have we been talking about me wanting my P1000?
Yeah, exactly. Hey.
Okay, so
do me a favor, real quick. Pull your video out, and then bring yourself out and bring yourself back in. Let's see if that, because you're frozen. Yeah, he was frozen completely.
How's that?
Let's see. You might be out of range or something. Let's give it a second or two. I can hear you, but I just can't see you anymore.
Okay, let me get myself into a better position.
Yeah,
I'm sitting here trying to do this on 36 acres on Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I know it's hard. It's hard out there. But let's go ahead and show this other video. So if you can still see me, I know you can probably see me.
I can see you.
Okay, so this is UFO Man, and I'm gonna go ahead and play it right now. And it's huge. This thing is huge, man, and it's going by this mountain, right? And people have been saying over and over, you always hear it all the time. How come nobody takes a long video? How come nobody takes a longer video? It's only like 10 seconds, 15 seconds, yada, yada. Here we go, right? Well, this video actually goes for about 2 minutes long, right? And what we're seeing here in audio land is huge mountains and this large craft. I mean, it's a mothership going over these mountains during the daytime, broad daylight. It looks almost like noon. And I went I was kind of checking it out to see if it was CGI or anything like that, right? I dug deep into it a little bit, and I'll show you in a minute after this video finishes. But I mean, look, when somebody videotapes something like this, even if they're in audio land, they're staying focused on that craft, right? And on the mountains, of course. But it's always going to be in your center frame. Huge, right? Huge. And now what's people's excuses? Okay, now they're filming long enough. What now, right? What now? And just keep watching this video as it plays, because you can see the scale of this thing and how big it is. Now you start to see a little bit, bam, it takes off, right? So, and that's the crazy part about that video, right? I don't know if you got to see that, Terry, but that thing was huge, going over that mountain. And what I was trying to explain was that, okay, is this thing CGI or not? Right? You can pretty much tell sometimes, right? And what I did was I went into Spectrum Blue, right? So I used my own analysis, right? And I was able to show you this, right? So this is the craft, and then I start adding a little bit more, and now you start seeing the disturbance that's inside of this craft, right? So all the little squiggly lines, everything, it shows there's a disturbance there, right? Usually when it's CGI, you're not going to see that. It's going to look like the big squares that are around it, right?
That's the electromagnetic field,
right? So this is what I did with that craft. I zoomed in on it, and I was like, well, let me see if this is real or not. And I zoomed in pretty good, just to see if there was even outside of the craft, if you know how you can see the DPIs, the small dots per square inch, right? That's what you're looking for.
Right.
Everything blended in so freaking perfectly. And I was like, you know what? Whatever this thing was, it was freaking huge, right? Going over this house. Now, I'm going to give you this other spectrum. This one's going to be an infrared, all right? This one's an infrared. So now you start to see there, that's the actual infrared of the craft. You can still see the electronic magnetic field around it, but you can actually see all the disturbances that are in the middle of it, right?
Right.
So, and thus, this thing is huge, man. I mean, I can't even... I can't even...
Yeah, that really is big.
I mean, when we see the video of it, it's like huge, right? And, I mean, look at the video, how it goes over the mountain. Look at the scale of it towards the mountains.
That's a pretty good chunk of that mountain size.
Yeah. And that mountain's huge.
Yes, it is.
So, and that's...
By the way, can you see me now?
I cannot... No, I can't see you at all, period. Lost video feed. But I can hear you just fine. Just can't
Okay, that works for me. I can see everything that's going on there.
Okay, good.
Okay, just so everybody knows, this is the scale my studio went down to. I'm in the woods.
That's fine.
I don't even know where my laptop's at right now.
So, and you're seeing this craft, how it's slowly moving across the sky. And this is broad daylight. Just the scale of this thing is unbelievable. And first thing I thought was CGI, but it just doesn't seem CGI-ish after I started using the analysis on this actual craft. So, I mean, what do you think, Terry, about this,
Well, this would be something that, from the scale of this thing, this is probably a craft that has a bunch of those spears, carries a lot of them.
Uh-huh.
And I think that those spears probably go out and they're like the drone of this craft. But this right here is definitely something that you'd almost want to call it the bus, because it would have more space there for quite a few of whoever the beings are that are inside of it, and they would be able to do a lot more with it. So it's, to them, that might be like a small city up in the sky.
Right.
When they've got something that size. I'm looking at the size of that as it was passing that mountain. You can only imagine. I mean, literally, you'd have to imagine, because we don't know. but you can only imagine what something like that would be used for. I'm assuming that that's something that they'd probably use for research on us.
Yes.
And, you know,
exactly.
Something for research on us.
Exactly. You know, and luckily we have these kind of apps, you know, to where we can actually look and see if these things are real or not, you know. It didn't tell me exactly who caught this craft or whatever. I was looking for the name or the person that actually filmed it, and it really wasn't there. Now, of course, we get crafts that sometimes the footage is pretty darn good. Here's another one that I'm going to show you guys out there. So out there we got Ryan Keaton, we got Ani Ball, we got Rodney Thomas. Hey, my brother, he's got an amazing show. Go check him out. You know, we have, let's see who's out there. Everybody's out there, man. Man, everybody's just chiming in. Thank you guys for that. I appreciate it.
But by the way, everybody, thank you for all your wishes and things. When I didn't realize I was a missing person. By the way,
yeah.
I had no idea that I was considered a missing person. I absolutely loved hearing the different ideas of what happened to me.
Right.
That's kind of cool. There was search and rescue went up top of Polina Peak, and there was a lot of the people from the town of the people from the town of Lapine that are friends of mine that also went up there looking for, like, maybe if my car went off the ridge or there was other things that were being said that were kind of dark. I mean, I'm in the middle of a divorce, and people thought I had done something that was, like, really bad. I would never ever do that, folks. Mm-hmm. I would never do what was being said by my ex.
Yeah, I know you wouldn't, brother, and that's why. I mean, we were looking for you, but I'm glad we found you. I'm glad you popped up. I mean, you weren't really lost; you were just looking for other things. But
right, yeah, I had my own kind of agenda. I was trying to take things on head on, and apparently, I forgot to tell people when I take things head on that I might shut my phone off.
Right. So. Rodney Thomas out there saying, when you put the image in infrared, you could almost see the internal markings on the craft, particularly the middle part of the craft on me in the diagram of Bob Lazar, which one showed off. He says, Ryan Keaton says, "You're good, brother. We're glad you're okay." So, you know, Ani Ball's out there saying, "Wow,
thank you, Ryan."
Exactly." You know, Ani Ball's chiming in out there. You know, we have Woo Rider's dog. It says, "I've been capturing UFOs on video here in Florida a lot more since February and this year, and it's definitely an uptick." He goes, "I believe most have reverse engineered, and some could be off world." That's true, man. I mean, you know, that's basically what we're trying to do here is figure out exactly where these things are coming from and why, right? So let's show this other video. I have this other video for you guys to check out. And this is, check this out.
What is that? Hey, seriously.
All right. It's very short, but you can see the brightness of it. Now, I'm going to put it out again. Here it goes.
What the? What is that? Hey, seriously.
Man.
Do you like how they change colors like that from a fire to like almost like lightning plasma?
Yes. Okay, now that one was captured and showed in California. Okay, so I don't know if you guys noticed, but last week there was a weird thing that happened in Lancaster, California, man. And this was all over X. If you guys have Twitter, whatever, X. I'm on Twitter every day. Anyway, on the UFO stuff. So they were sending these videos, things that people were catching up in the sky, man. And watch this. This is the same time frame, but this is a different craft. Watch this.
Ma, you see this?
No. Holy shit! What the hell is that?
What is happening? You guys see this? Oh my god, what the fuck is happening? What is that? What is that?
So you can tell. You see that?
I just seen that one. Yeah, I just seen that one recently.
Right. Nice. So people in audio world, it's nighttime. People are kind of, it looks like it's off the coast, and there's this string of lights up in the sky that people are catching. But now this one is this same craft that was caught, I'm not going to say before or after, but it has 3 more behind it. Okay. You have to see this, man. Check this out.
Bro, what the fuck? What? Why isn't my phone focusing? What is happening right now? Where is it going? It's landing. That.
All right. Did you see that?
Yeah. What was the exact location of that one?
That's Lancaster, California.
Lancaster, California.
Yeah, that's 3 different videos from 3 different people right off the coast of Lancaster, California, that they were catching this thing. I've never seen anything that close to that. Whatever it was, one went down, probably went into the water. Now, we've been, lately, I don't know if you've noticed, but people have been seeing the USO or underwater. These crafts can actually do things at the same speeds that they can do in the air, in the water. What are your thoughts on that, Terry?
Well, I think that what happens is they create that magnetic flux tube around them.
Right.
And that allows them to move, like to us. Our atmosphere, this is oxygen and all that. Think about the fish. They breathe through their gills and all that. That's
right.
Their atmosphere.
Right.
So these crafts are made to move through all types of different atmosphere, and they're because of how they utilize the electromagnetism,
right.
And they utilize it as they're moving up and down on the flux tubes, and they're moving with the rotations of the Earth. These things, what they're doing is there's no difference between the two for them.
Right.
So if you look at these crafts, sometimes they look like they're buoyant and they're floating above us, almost like a boat would be in water anyway. Okay.
Right.
So that's kind of what they are doing is this atmosphere, the atmosphere in the water and the atmosphere in space would all be the same to them. With the technology that they're using, they create a magnetic flux basket around them, and that's kind of a shield from things. Think about F/A-18 or one of these fighter jets. Once they hit break the sound barrier, they put out that it's a hydrogen cone that goes around the front of them.
Right.
That's like a shield. That hydrogen cone's like a shield to them, and that's part of what everything on the backside of that hydrogen cone is actually protected by that. So you got to think that they're doing basically, if we're doing that, they're doing basically the same thing, at least, if not far better.
But isn't it strange too? Like when we see these things in space, okay, when we see them through the space station, ISS, and the videos and everything that comes along with that, with these kind of crafts, right? That once we see them up there, they're actually going at a relative speed that you can catch with your eye. Now, when they're in the water, when they're in our atmosphere, it's actually at this speed that we can't even catch with our eyes sometimes. It's in a...
Well, that's the 22 miles a second I had stated before.
Right.
They move at about 22 miles a second on our planet. It's so fast. That's what, 78,000 miles an hour.
Right.
And we're talking about right to the speed of relativity here. These things are moving very close to light speed. Which also leads me to another statement that when you're moving at that speed, it's most likely it's kind of like a time machine for them.
Right.
when they're moving at that speed. We could be seeing them passing through, and they might not even be stopping in our time. Okay, I know it's a relatively weird concept, but when we catch something moving past us at high rate of speed, at that high rate of a speed, they're just in a moment of our time, and just a very small fraction of it for that note. If you look at when Tino Gallegos again,
right.
when he slows stuff down, it's like a blink of an eye. You just barely get not even one frame. It's part of a frame.
Right.
When you see the same things with Annabelle Quiones, most of his stuff is slowing down and stopping and trying to like do some type of communication. When you see the stuff from Jody Gordon and some of the other stuff that comes from Annabelle Quiones, what they're doing is they're focusing really high up. They're looking up just past the cloud lines, and you're seeing all these different craft that are moving around, and it's like a traffic jam. I mean, there's literally hundreds,
right,
thousands of these things moving around all the time. It's just like looking at LA traffic, you know?
Right.
It's just like looking at LA traffic. But these things are constantly and always here. When they come down and they do like what you're showing right now,
right?
When they're showing out, basically they're letting us know they're here.
Yeah. Well, they're not. They're just like Ryan Keaton was saying. He said they're not even hiding anymore.
No, they're done. They're done. Once the Pentagon released its statements and Congress held their meetings,
right.
They pretty much stopped hiding because they're following our communications.
Yeah.
So what are the reasons for them to hide anymore other than the fact that we have all these weapons that we normally have aimed towards ourselves? Now we got another target to aim at. Is that why they were doing it? That's pretty much what it sounded like to me, is they were trying to put together a reason why we need to develop certain weapons to try and fight against these things.
Yeah.
They really don't do much to us unless you're a cow.
Right.
Or, sometimes it's people, I guess. People end up getting abducted, and there's a lot of abductees that I don't want to offend because I said that, but there's a lot of abductees out there that they didn't get to, it wasn't their choice to go. It wasn't something that they want to talk about, some of them.
Right. Now, there's been a lot of that lately. I'm getting a bad echo. Real bad echo.
Let me see if I can fix this here.
Yeah. Is your headset unplugged?
Let's see. Let me get this done.
There we go. That'll work. Okay.
That works?
Yeah, that works right there. So, now that we're talking about extraterrestrials and people that get abducted, like I was talking about earlier on the opening monologue, people have been experiencing a lot of different things that have been happening to them. Lately, they're in their dreams, or they're getting scratches, or they're getting marks, things that are happening to them in their sleep, right? And it's been like a little bit of a life-changing event. Now, I'm going to show this video. It's not mine. It's somebody out there. Tell me what you guys think. It might be real. It might not. Okay, this is what we do here at Alien Strand. Kind of throw it out there at you. You let us know what you think about it. But it's out in a crop, and somebody caught this extraterrestrial out there, kind of wandering around. And let's check this out real quick. It's going to have some audio to it. Here we go.
Haunted farms. In June 2023, a local from New York claimed that he had encountered aliens, and surprisingly, he had a video to prove his claims. In the footage, he can be seen walking by some tall fields when this odd face emerges from behind the vegetation. It had this alien-like form that we all have been familiar with since the start of times. The man was completely startled and even ran away. But curiosity got the better of him as he came back to inspect more, and the alien creature was still standing there. I must say, this guy's got nerves of steel for confronting an alien face to face. The creature kept moving while keeping eye contact with the guy, and then it disappeared. Many believe that it was someone in a mask trying to scare him, but the video maker was persistent that it was an actual alien.
All right. So there was an alien encounter. I actually show a video of something like that on the middle part 2, and the creature almost looks like something that the military had caught, not in the same field. This was in a totally different area, full body extraterrestrial that looked almost like this one. Okay, what are your thoughts about this one, Terry?
I'm thinking like that looked like that Zeta Reticula type. That
right.
It looked like a much smaller version, not a really tall gray.
Right.
They have Zetas are from a distant solar system, where these other ones, the grays and they got the smaller ones that are, everybody says is like a robot or a cyborg type thing.
Right.
That right there, it's the way the head was shaped. The way the head was shaped on that one leads me to believe that's right there would be the type that likes to do a lot of abduction stuff. Wow. They're here from a long ways away.
Well, Shannon says mask. She goes, "What's up with the turtleneck bodysuit?" Hey, it may be somebody in a mask. I don't know, but I don't know if people have seen that other one of Jonathan. What's his name? Jonathan. I forget his name. I forget his last name. I usually have it right here. Anyway, he's the one that beat the hell out of that extraterrestrial when that ET killed his dog. He says the ET grabbed his dog and ripped his dog's head open in front of him, and he got a stick and he beat the living hell out of this thing, right? And it had the black suit on, right? And the little head, the beady eyes, and it was like these things wear these suits too, right? Yep. It's kind of hard to tell, man. That one's kind of hard to tell to me.
Yeah, that's again, that's what I'd call the Zeta Reticula. That's if you notice how his head and everything was shaped.
Right.
Think of Aleister Crowley.
Right.
I can't remember the name of the being that was with him that he brought forward, and he started doing drawings and things of. But it's the exact same head. It's the exact same type. I forget what he called it, Ham or something like that.
Right.
I think that's what it was called. I'll have to. Again, all my belongings are inside of a bunch of bags, so it's going to be a while before I get to break out my big library of books and be able to get back into the different things. But I do have Aleister Crowley's book.
Right.
Same as the Vonage manuscript, and all those wonderful things are just tucked away and hidden from me at the moment.
Well, I think the guy I was talking was Jonathan Reed. This is not the alien, but this alien, if you look at the Jonathan Reed, I think that's his name, that he beat the living hell out of it. It almost looks like this alien too.
It does.
But it has like smaller eyeballs, right? Like real thin slits for eyes, and even in the mouth. I didn't see any nose on that one, but in the next one, we'll get another one on there. But this is what it reminded me of. I always save that one because, the comparisons to different extraterrestrials, like this one that I always bring up, because we see different kinds, right?
Right.
To what they actually could be. Now, there is I'm going to show you one more video. No, there's still two more, but I'm going to show you another video. This is from a guy that you're going to like, that you know. And he talks a little bit about extraterrestrials that are among us, right? That walk among us, right? On a daily basis that he's trying to explain what Mr. Bigelow was telling him. So let's watch this real quick.
Bigelow said to me, "They're walking among us." I said, "What do you mean they're walking among us?" I said, "They're
not getting any audio.
Among us. They live right here," kind of thing. So again,
not getting any audio.
I'm looking at him going, I need to see, I'd like to see some proof of that.
Right.
But then he said, "We've done studies. We've done extensive studies on the impacts that this story would have on the general population globally." And I said,
Interesting.
Okay. Well, like what kind of studies? He goes, "Well, you take Iran Contra and you take all these other like super big scandals and you multiply those, every one of them that's ever happened in the history of mankind, modern history, and then you multiply that by 1 million, and that's the impact, according to our studies, that this reality would have on the general public." He said the economy would collapse, organized religion would collapse, and he just rattled off all that. Like, again, I'm not saying that I believe this. I'm just telling you what he said to me.
So what do you think about that, Terry?
Well, I had no audio on it. I don't know if anybody else did.
Okay. Yeah, he was, well, I don't know if you were reading it, but he was pretty much, Bigelow was just telling you that these things walk amongst us, daily, right? And they could be changing things as they happen, right? Because if we saw them for who they really are, then, it would be almost catastrophic in a sense to ourselves, right? As far as like he talked about the economy, the religion, things like that would kind of be taken away because it's like, wait a minute, what are these things? They're not human, and where do they come from, right? So, and that's pretty much what he was trying to say, what Bigelow was trying to tell him, as far as that. Can you hear me, Jim?
Right. Yes, I can. So basically, he's 100% correct about that. If all of a sudden they sent down diplomats from their wherever they're from, or whether they're from inside of Earth or they're from wherever they're from, it would 100% change the way we look at religion and our politics and our government, and even our monetary system would be affected by it. The fact of the matter is they're doing this, and they've been doing this for such a long time now that we have to accept it as people. We have to accept what we're seeing as far back as Nimrod and further.
Right.
That there's ancient beings that have been all over this planet since the beginning of our time, and probably even sooner than our time. They manipulated our DNA to create a slave race, which would be us. We were used to harvest gold out of the mountains for them and out of the earth, according to the things that's been written.
Right.
And you know how they say the writing's on the wall?
Yeah.
The writing's on the wall. It's been there. Even the Egyptians tell us the same thing. The Native Americans tell us the same thing. The Mayans tell us the same thing.
Yeah.
Inca, all of them. Every one of them's told us the exact same thing, that we've had this relationship. The only time that we haven't had this relationship is, well, when we started having a government that had a nice big military with planes and all kinds of stuff that says, nah, we never had that relationship.
Right.
And then everybody puts a stigma on it. And once that's done, and you're told that you're crazy if you see this, everybody looks the other way. They don't want to see it, and if they do see it, they certainly don't talk about it.
Exactly.
So,
well,
yeah.
and that's true. And I told this story on my last podcast. I don't know if it was on the audio or the video. I'm trying to remember which one it was, but that this guy was saying that I was reading on it, and he said, that these extraterrestrials are human looking ones that do walk amongst us as well, right? And he says that if you, as a person, and you think that this person in front of you is an extraterrestrial, he says, walk behind him, and then with your thoughts, you tell it in front of you, I know you're an extraterrestrial. And if he turns around and looks at you, well, there it is. You got your answer, right? And that's how they answer you, because that's they know.
The Palladian. Yep.
Right. So, I mean, this is what he was kind of giving some intelligence of exactly what was happening. Now, there was this small article as well. I'm going to see if I can bring it up on my screen so you guys can check this out. And it's going to kind of coincide of what we're talking about a little bit here today. And, about extraterrestrials actually living around us and amongst us every day without us even knowing, right? And, people have been talking about it lately. They have been talking about it. And how do you not think about that sometimes, especially us in the ufology community? We're not crazy. We don't wear tinfoil hats, things like that, right? We're just trying to give you exactly what we're seeing here. So this article right here, I'm going to read a little bit to you, and it just tells you what they're thinking about extraterrestrials, right? It says A new paper research of the Harvard University of Human Flourishing Program posts that unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAP, most commonly referred as UFOs of extraterrestrial beings, could be living underground or on the moon or even walking amongst humans, right? The research also explores the idea that UFOs and unidentified aerial phenomenon could and spaceships be visiting Earth-based alien friends. In other words, people that were, or not people, but extraterrestrials that were already here, right? So they have this. It says the paper states the author became increasingly aware of the depth of the evidence of the theory and intently supports the extraterrestrial explanation as crypterrestrial hypothesis, right? Our focus in which it holds UAPs reflective of NHI, this is concealed here on Earth, underground, and its environs, right? So, and it kind of gives you an explanation of what they think that these extraterrestrials are, right? Like, number one, human crypterrestrials, right? A technology advanced ancient human civilization that largely destroyed long ago, right? It's what you talked about. It says, but continue to exist in remnant form. It says humanoid of theropod cryptoterrestrials, a technologically advanced non-human civilization consisting of some terrestrial animal evolved in the stealth, right? This could be like ape-like humanoid descendants of an unknown, like an intelligent dinosaurs, in other words. That's what they're trying to tell you in this one. Or former extraterrestrial or extraterrestrial cryptoterrestrials. All right, here we go. We'll get into bigger, better things, right? Different names. This says these beings could have arrived on Earth from elsewhere in the cosmos or from human future or concealed themselves in stealth, such as the moon. That's a good one. I like that one. And then we have the magical cryptoterrestrials. Entities that are less like homegrown aliens and more like earthbound angels. These beings can relate to the human world in ways that less technological and more magical, such as fairies, elves, and nymphs, whatever the hell. Okay, so in other words, so they pretty much gave you what these things could be, right? Living amongst us, right? What are your thoughts on what I just read?
Well, a lot of what I had to say in the middle, that I believe that they used the Rosen Bridge to go inside of the mountain, that the mountain itself is a lot like a hive. I believe that there's several different types of species that are within inside of our Earth, probably even our Mr. Bigfoot.
Right.
Probably has his way of going in and out, because he's kind of hard to track. Sometimes we see him, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we just hear him, and sometimes we'll circle him, and he disappears.
Right.
So what I've got to say about that is like you said, fairies and things like that. There's people that are catching what looks like fairies over in England.
Yeah.
They're videoing them. There's people that are catching things that look like my Wendigo moving around the woods. All of these things, I believe, come from inside of Earth, that there's pockets, especially around the volcanoes, but there's pockets, there's caves, there's all kinds of things that they use as an entry. Not everything's a Rosen Bridge, so I'm thinking that they have their ways of moving around and going in and out of the Earth. They know their way around the woods far better than us. To them, the woods and the deserts and all those places, that it might be their city. Like, you know how to get to McDonald's down the street.
Right.
To them, they have their way. They have their, I hate to call it a trap line, but a trap line. They go and they do their things.
Right.
And they know exactly how to get to where they're going. And as long as they disappear on us, they're a mystery. And we call them mythical and, dragons and all stuff out there in the world.
Right.
I almost said shit.
Shannon says, do you think that the Egyptians are hybrid aliens?
I believe so. I believe that the think about First Nation Native Americans, okay, the very first ones. I believe that the first Egyptians, true Egyptians, were literally mixed with a god of some sort, or what we would call a god. They were mixed with, and all the people there, they called them gods.
Right.
But I believe that what happened was they were extraterrestrial. They had abilities that were beyond our abilities. They had, like, say, for instance, our cell phone that we hold in our hand. A couple thousand years ago, 6,000 years ago, if you saw somebody holding a device like what we have and would communicate on it, you would be in complete awe of what they're doing. Well, they had that type of thing, and the regular people did not.
Right.
So there were certain devices and certain things that they held in their hands, and you can look it up. Certain things that they held in their hands, like rods that might have shot flames or fire or electric, things like that. Those were called tools of the gods, and if a regular person touched them, it was sacrilegious to the whole religion, and all the people around them. They may have been put to death for even touching or even looking one of these beings in the eyes.
Well, let's just go back 200 years. Let's just say 200 years, 1800s, right? If you were to show up with your cell phone, I mean, they'd freak out. Like, what the hell is that, right? And
yes, they would. Look at our advances in the last 150 years.
Exactly. So, but maybe 1700s, maybe 1600s. Yeah, they would have probably burned you at the stake, maybe at that time. But like before we were who we are, as far as like once we had currency and trade and all that good stuff that came along with everybody else, right? To where, you know, the control, in other words, right? Money is the control. It is the control. I hate to say it that way, but it is. And once currency came in and everything, it kind of changed the way we are as human beings. Now, if you're talking back, and of course they still had currency in the days of the Egyptians, maybe before that. Now, we still don't know who built the pyramids. It's still speculations up there, right? I mean, it's kind of hard to tell if those things were there thousands of years before. We're already starting to go back 10,000 years, 15,000 years to things that are finding underground, right?
Yeah, and look at Machu Picchu and Pucapuma.
Right, exactly.
Those two locations.
Exactly.
As well as the Moai out on Rapa Nui.
Exactly.
Okay, that's another good for instance.
Exactly. And I got one more video to show you, and the reason I brought those the deal with the extraterrestrials and if they live amongst us, and you even said yourself that these things are coming in and out of the earth, right? This video is going to blow you away. I don't know if you've seen it before, but check this out. Tell me what you think. I'd save the best for last. So here we go.
Right on.
Let's see if it'll play. Is it playing? Come on.
It was. I saw a craft over the top of them. Yeah.
Now
that looks like it came out of the...
Hey, look where it's coming out. I did this with my phone, so I slowed it down and showed that it came out of that cave.
Yeah, it came out of the side of the mountain.
You see that?
I did.
Bam. Yep.
Yeah, it just came out of the side of the mountain. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I call the Dr. Nathaniel Rosen and Dr. Albert Einstein Rosen bridge. What these things do, they move through some solid object like a giant bunch of rock. By the way, I got something up here that it's about a 15, maybe 20-minute hike from where I'm at right now up to the top of this mountain.
Right.
And then I got this giant rock face that's over the old ghost town of Wakanda.
Wow.
And I'm literally, I live in an old ghost town area right now.
You're probably going to see stuff like this, you know, if you got...
That's what I'm counting on. I've got, like I said, I got to get into my boxes and find out where it's at because I was not fortunate enough to pack my own belongings.
Right.
But I know that they're there. And I have my infrared from, it was a gift, infrared and night vision from Annabelle Quiones.
Right.
And I also have, luckily I grabbed my P1000 and I've had that with me. I've been holding on to that with a pair of, white knuckle in it, making sure I keep that in my hands.
All right. That's right.
Because that's a piece of equipment I need. But I'm going to get up on the top of this mountain and I'm going to spend some time aimed at a specific rock face.
Right.
And that rock face, literally is directly above the old ghost town of Wakanda in Washington.
Wow.
This used to all be Indian reservation in here. And I'm actually kind of looking forward to looking at the ground, too, to see what else I can find.
And I'm just going to recap, while you're talking, just, keep on talking. And then, I just want people to see what this stuff has been going on for years and years and years.
It's been not only our lifetime, but several lifetimes over. These things have been there. And I personally, I believe this is what people around the world have worshipped in one form or another, whether it's the beings inside or the craft that they're in.
Right.
We got so many different structures that had to have been built by something like this,
exactly,
using anti-gravity technology to move giant things. I believe that you're looking at the founders and the builders of things like Machu Picchu,
yes,
the Great Pyramids of Giza, the pyramids that are down in Mexico, the Aztec and the Mayan stuff.
Do you think that because we're seeing more there in Mexico now, most of these videos do come from Mexico, around that area? Now, do you think that here in 2024, do you think that there's a possible an awakening that's happening to a lot of people, which I've explained before what it is, but do you think that there's like a large awakening? Because these things don't care anymore if we're seeing them in the sky. Remember they used to hide up in the clouds, yada, yada, yada. And now they're just coming lower and lower and landing now. So what are we expecting?
Okay, so I don't know if you remember the old Art Bell show.
Yeah.
He used to call it the quakening.
Okay.
Okay, so where everybody is, all of a sudden the whole world is starting to understand that these things exist. A lot of the people that laughed at other people about it are now seeing the same things. There's a lot of people out there that they're still going to deny it because they're not even taking the time to look up. So, but I think what's happening now is these things are making it a point to show themselves to let the other people know,
right?
We're here. We're not going anywhere, and pretty soon we're going to either have a peaceful meeting or a non-peaceful meeting with them.
Right.
I'm not exactly sure which direction to go, because I haven't had any actual confrontation. The one that I did see eye to eye smiled at me.
Right.
Okay. It seemed friendly. Scared the crap out of me, but it seemed friendly. But it actually, when it looked me in the eyes, and I looked it in the eyes, I'm not sure if it was because it was like reading my mind that blushed or something. Anyway, but it smiled at me.
Wow.
It had a very diverse effect on the rest of my life. I've been fortunate enough that I believe because of that eye-to-eye contact, I've been able to see things that most people don't.
Right.
I know how to use for instance, satellite imagery. I know how to use it better than the average person. I know how to use video. I could be watching regular television and I can see craft go by if they're filming outside. It's people just don't know, or their eyes aren't trained to see it. Because of what happened with me, my eyes are trained to see it.
Right.
It doesn't really matter what speed they're going by. And I think that other people, when they see it, they start seeing it the same way I'm seeing it.
Exactly.
And there's more and more people sharing their experience. The people that do, I encourage them, if you've seen something like this, get a hold of Donald Ledesma, get a hold of ASTP, get a hold of somebody from ASTP. We have people all around the world that are ready and willing to take a report from you. We have people that are willing to listen to what you got to say, not ridicule you.
Exactly.
I've said it on every show that I've been on. Disclosure starts with your story and respect.
Exactly.
That's what I've said every time that I've been on a show. That's the ASDP motto. Disclosure starts with your story and respect, and we respect you. No story's too small, no story's too big.
Yeah.
You let us know what you got. I also want to say one more thing. I don't have my Nikon. I probably can't be seen, But hey, Nikon, I'm Nikon. I want you guys to know that ASTP ufologists need Nikons because that's a good camera for what we do, and it works perfectly for this subject.
It is.
So if you want to do something, Nikon, hand out a few Nikons to ASTP ufologists, and we'll make sure they get them.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. And thank you for being on the show and going over these videos with me and giving us your knowledge and what you're doing. And I know you're up in Washington now. Hopefully you get some really good crafts on your camera. Once you get settled in and everything, like I said, we got that GoFundMe set up for you already. The link is here on the description of this podcast. Please go, $1, $5, $10, whatever you can give would really help put him back to where he needs to be. And thank you guys. Like I said, thank you, Terry. We love you very much, man. And just stay strong, stay positive, man. Good things will come, man. And we're going to be here for you. And we're going to make sure that good things go your way as well.
Thank you, everybody, for the help on the GoFundMe. I really need it. I'm desperate.
Right on, brother. Right on. All right, brother. Well, we're going to let you go. And, I just want to thank everybody that was watching today. Ani Ball, Ryan Keaton, Shannon, we had a bunch of people watching out here today, and I love this because, everybody gets to just to say what they want to say, and Cindy's out, Grigsby, she's out there. Thank you for watching, Cindy. We appreciate you. My sister Donna was watching. Thank you. And, it's just a wonderful thing that people can come back and enjoy Alien Strand podcast. You're actually listening right now on Spreaker Live on audio. For you guys that are out there, be safe on the road. If you're listening, thank you for listening to this show. If you love this show, give me a thumbs up, man, on this show, on Rumble, on YouTube, on Twitch. We're not on X anymore. Ish. Okay, we will be later. But anyway, thank you guys. I appreciate you. And, we'll catch you guys on the next one, and hopefully we get Terry back on his feet. We're going to get everybody back on their feet, and then we're going to start this all over again. Like I said, watch the middle part 2. Part 3 is out on Amazon right now. There's going to be links to that as well. Just go where it says all my links at the very bottom or the description of this page. I appreciate you guys. Good night, fellas. Good night, everybody. Women, children, everybody out there. Have an amazing evening. And until then, you guys have yourselves a good day. Have yourselves a good evening. And have yourselves a good night. We'll see you guys later. Have a good one, man. Love you guys. See you later.
Bye-bye.
I think watch out.